Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and welcome back to another weight loss video. And choose your hard and some tips. It's the first time I've ever lost weight consistently. I've been going strong for 6 months, and this quote is what helped change my mindset. Losing weight is hard. Being overweight is hard. Choose your hard. There were other comparisons too. Being financially disciplined is hard. Being in debt is hard. Choose your hard. I have a long list of everyday things that are kind of difficult or uncomfortable due to my weight. Something clicked to me when I read this, because I'm now redirecting the great effort normally required to navigate being overweight in a country where everyone and everything is tiny. I live in Asia, and channeling this energy into my weight loss efforts. Is something else I've been doing that may help others. I made a list of small things I wanted to do, and have been incorporating these things into my life. I won't do them all day every day, but in theory, over time, many just become habit, and some already have. It's been great because this has focused my weight loss journey on new small achievements as opposed to restrictions and punishing myself. Here's a few from my list. Drink 2 liters of water at least. I'm now drinking closer to a gallon 6 months later. Best thing about this journey, in my opinion. Eat dinner before 7:30 or 8 p.m. and try to only eat meals at my kitchen table. I found that I had conditioned my body to crave food when I'm watching TV or on the couch or laying in bed at the end of my night. Opt for stairs and walking more often. Not all the time, but I now choose stairs more often to walk instead of car, bus, or train. It's a great way to get physical activity built in on any given day. And journal most days and focus on how I feel, emotionally and physically. This has helped me a lot when I'm feeling anxious and want to binge. I go back and read about how great I feel when I'm eating well and balanced, energized and nimble, and it reminds me how unwell I felt, drowsy, stuffed, and guilty on days when I didn't eat so well. Cook 2 to 3 days per week. I always end up with leftovers for a couple of days. I'm less likely to order out when I have delicious balanced meals at home. I'm not talking strictly salads, but I'm eating good food and not overeating. Do some physical activity, maybe 4 or 5 days a week. Well, one of those days I do a reformer Pilates class, which is intense, but otherwise I don't go to the gym. I'm going on walks, going on a bike ride, and putting on music and dancing. A vegetarian day once a week. Turns out I enjoy a lot of vegetarian meals. My favorite is vegetarian chili and taco bowls. No phone 30 minutes before I go to bed and after I wake up. I feel that weight loss is as much of a mental journey as it is physical, if not more. And we have a lot of terrible messaging about who we are that we have internalized. So please make sure that you consider your overall well-being. Be kind to yourself, and good luck no matter where you are in your journey. Cooking from home is key. Some people do lose weight while eating within their total daily energy expenditure from restaurants, but that is so hard to do. Even when restaurants post calorie estimates, it's very hard to know exactly what you're getting. And for me, my hard was confronting myself about my weight creeping up, something I'd been avoiding for years. Getting over that hump makes everything else feel easy. It reminds me of one of my favorites. And discipline is just choosing between what you want now and what you want most. This is so true. I have never been able to lose enough weight and keep it off because it was too hard. I just couldn't handle giving up the foods I loved, or giving up my time to spend it exercising. I had to change my mindset and realize that by choosing my morbidly obese lifestyle, I was giving up my health, my mobility, and so many things in my life where my weight has held me back. I had to choose which things I wanted to give up. And when I looked at it that way, it made it a lot easier to choose my health over food. I've lost more than half of my highest weight. Yes, blasting music and dancing for myself has been my fave. There's also so many footwork tutorials on TikTok that are basically a cardio workout, but with the added benefit of being able to dance. A big motivator for me was watching the show My 600-Pound Life. I could hear my same excuses coming out of their mouths and knowing that could be me one day. I told myself, well, at least I'm not 600 pounds. And then I realized, no, but you're halfway there though. And that was the kick in the butt I needed. Unfortunately, I haven't lost any weight yet, but I've been sticking to my exercise regime. One thing that really helped me drink more water was buying a 48-ounce water bottle. I just fill that sucker up and it becomes really easy to drink water throughout the day, which keeps me full and less snacky too. I've lost 150 pounds going plant-based, but mainly through calories in, calories out. Here's a couple things nobody seems to talk about. 1, I'm cold. I'm cold all the time, every second of the day. Is this what people normally feel like? I had to buy an extra blanket when going to bed, lol. I can't seem to ever be warm. And 2, my brain is not caught up with my body mentally. I don't view myself as 150 pounds lighter and still have trouble seeing it. There was no magical switch that got flipped when I hit my goal weight of, oh, I like my body now. It almost feels exactly the same. 3, I'm nervous about gaining the weight back. Even though I have a healthy relationship with food, I'm still just worried about what if it comes back. It was hard enough getting into the mental space to lose the weight the first time. I'm just kind of worried I won't be able to get back into it. 4, seriously, I'm freezing right now, lol. Nobody seems to mention how the cold runs right through you. Being cold, if you build more muscle, you will be less cold. The fat insulates, so it lets you keep your heat better. But muscle is what generates it. Your own sense of normal heat can fluctuate too as your body composition changes. Also, dehydration. I'm much colder when I'm dehydrated. You do feel colder though, lol. Your body just got used to all that excess heat. Invest in a few heated blankets or pads. Put them where you hang out. If you're used to wearing a t-shirt and shorts around your 70-degree house, try long pants and a sweatshirt. I used to work for an employer that wouldn't let me turn the heat past 67. I was a freezing mess. I'm sure with time and maybe a few new outfits, you will see yourself as a smaller person. What everyone else said, but also iron. If you aren't getting enough iron, that is plentiful in red meats and leafy greens, then you will get cold. Talk to your doctor and have them run some tests. An iron supplement could end up helping. And even though you can get iron in the vitamin section, please talk to a doctor first because too much iron can be a problem. And it's best to know what you need from a medical standpoint over giving yourself supplements that you don't need. I'm cold. Sometimes I get up and move around a bit to get the heart pumping. It might sound weird, but spend a couple minutes doing jump jacks or push-ups or anything. My brain has not caught up with my body mentally. A lot of people use their weight as a scapegoat. A lot of, I would do X if only I wasn't overweight. A hard realization is that losing weight won't magically make you happy, attractive, fit, outgoing, or social, or insert whatever else, and that it takes real change from you. Losing weight helps, don't get me wrong, but you can easily go from fat and depressed to skinny and depressed. Make sure you look after yourselves. I'm nervous about gaining the weight back. Gaining weight back isn't the end of the world. Once you've lost weight once successfully, you'll feel more in control. It's less of an impossible task and more of something you just need to do, and it gets easier. Weigh yourself often and give yourself a hard limit. For example, if you gain 10 pounds, you must diet until it's gone again. I personally try to give myself a hard limit, and twice a year, I will still do a 2 to 4 week cut. It's far easier to spend just a few weeks a year losing 5 to 10 pounds than doing long, multi-month cuts. I haven't lost as much as you, but just about 60 pounds. And yeah, winter has been rough for me. Here's an idea for that worry you had about regaining. Make a plan now while things are good, like an emergency success plan, and think of it as a break glass now in case of emergency plan. If you notice you are gaining, go to that plan to recalibrate your eating and follow it to a T. That plan could have like a meal plan or detailed list or description of your best meals you used during your weight loss, a time period involved, some reminder of the good things you did to make a difference at the start of your journey, and maybe even a phone number to a nutritionist. And just whatever you think that you could use. And that way, you don't have to scramble and put it together when you're feeling down and less motivated. I've lost around 80 to 90 pounds thus far, and I have noticed that I get significantly colder, but luckily I live in Southern California, so it's definitely not the coldest area. I agree with your point about your brain not catching up with your body, and I think I do sometimes see myself as a little big, but at the same time, I do feel a lot more comfortable and more confident overall. And it's just that I want to continue to get into better shape. I sometimes do get that idea that what if I end up going back down that unhealthy path again and gaining weight like crazy someday? But I try to just trust that I have control, knowledge, and the self-care and discipline to not allow myself to ever do that again. And even if I do, I at least know how to be successful with long-term weight loss and what changes to make. I am so freaking cold. After losing about 130 pounds, I've turned up thermostats, piled on blankets, and I layer all my clothes. I used to be so hot all the time that I wouldn't dare wear a sweater to work, and now I wear cardigans over sweaters. On the upside, I'm really looking forward to being less miserable during summer. As far as being nervous about regaining, I'd say to stay a little nervous, or at least aware of the possibility. I've backslid and regained nearly all my weight because I was too complacent. I need to stay on top of things. I won't obsess too much, but I will continue eating the way I have been. I'll still keep a rough tally of my daily calories, and I will have a regain limit. If I hit that limit, it is time to tighten up for a few weeks. And that brings us to the end, narwhals. If you haven't yet, please consider tapping subscribe below the video. After tapping subscribe, you'll join our awesome positive community, the narwhals, and you'll be updated for future videos that help you stay on track for your weight loss. Thanks again to those who are already subscribed. I really appreciate it. And now to the featured narwhal of the day. 8+ years of MyFitnessPal weigh-ins, 28 female.